Welcome, everybody, to the American Space Museum. I'm Mark Marquette. We're so glad you're with us on a Friday, June 7th, with some great educators and friends of our museum. Meet over here Jefferson Michaelis. Great to you. J.C. Filio.
Yes.
Is that close enough?
Thanks for having us. Yes.
You're welcome. J.C. and Jefferson. Also, Jeff. I've known you guys now for about 7 years that I've been around here, and they are outstanding educators from Brazil. And Jefferson Michaelis Foundation is your organization, and we're glad to have you here. They're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit of space history. There's Jefferson's global education in Brazil there. But Jefferson, first tell us why you're here this trip here in the States.
Okay, right now we return with wonderful news updates, especially now the new space economy, all these launches. Just 2 days ago, actually no, yeah, 2 days ago we had, the Boeing.
Right, they docked yesterday.
Yeah, that was amazing. So we're here because we're now bringing more students, teachers to the Space Coast. Now space is now a huge thing, and they want to learn what we are up to. So that's the beauty about our upcoming good news.
Yeah, we'll move the table there a little bit closer
perfect.
there.
Hello.
Yeah, right. We're no stranger to microphones and talking
Hello.
to people because you're dealing with kids all the time.
All the time.
You're out at the Education Center, at Kennedy
Yes.
Space Center, and that's your International Space Academy, JC. Tell us about that, brother.
Yeah, we always have this beautiful
Put your hat back here a little
collaboration.
bit so we can see your eyes there.
See
There
my
you
eyes.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
But yeah, we always work with this very beautiful collaboration between these organizations, the Michaelis Foundation and the International Space Academy. And we basically work together in order to bring these students, educators here at Space Coast area and try to inspire them through all this space history and science, technology, and all that we know for sure that this is going to be a very nice asset for educators and students as well. So it's a very nice and very beautiful collaboration between these two organizations.
You've had some of your students in our museum. I've had the privilege of doing my little astronomy comet making
Always having
demonstration.
fun.
And what I like is that you have many of the parents that come with you. It can be different kids, but you're bringing kids from Brazil here to the States, right?
And now we have kids from Mexico. We are working with a group in Japan and England as well, which means Space Coast is going to be even busier now.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, we love that.
Yep.
And anytime we can be in the mix,
You
give
are.
them a tour
Believe
here.
me. Yep.
We love doing that. We have students have come from all over the state in here in groups to see our humble little museum here. You guys have been around.
It's a wonderful place here.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Well,
so much history here that, we should invite even more people to come over here to see all these great artifacts. Everything you guys have here is part of the history. Everything started with something magnificent, and you guys have here.
We do, from manuals to hardware like
Yep.
consoles and other artifacts, even some homemade wrenches you'll see outside of our Cape Canaveral gallery. And we hope that you can find it in your heart to support our museum here. We got, we'll talk about that in just a second. As I asked, there you are on a previous show. You've been on a couple times there promoting our Stay Curious. And then we chose the Brazil from space, of course, for you there as our background. And that is an actual photograph. I mean, that's the real deal there. There's Karan Conklin on our left there, who's still recovering in the hospital. She needs your prayers and thoughts as she's got some ailments that she's dealing with. And that's Dr. Al Kohler, Jr. on the right there, one of the legends of NASA. Started out there at age 18 and become a very involved manager out there. You're behind a real rocket engine that we're trying to sell on eBay, or We'd sell it on eBay. We sell it anywhere. It's been in our auction a couple times. Yeah, it's got a $50,000 reserve on it.
Oh boy.
You know, and we could get it down to Brazil by boat probably for another 3 or 4,000. You know,
Hey.
I don't know if we get it through customs. What do you think?
Yeah, that's where I think the challenge is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dr. Kohler helped you as well as this guy, another guy I'm going to show you here. Dr. Kohler helped you in a Science Day thing. We'll talk about that in a second, because you didn't bring your lovely wife Carla here with you today, but there are you and Carla on the left with Joseph Smith, a great supporter of our museum, one of the first volunteers. And that was at our memorabilia show back in February, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a big time there. You've always supported us through buying things for your endeavors. You've bought displays and things like that from auctions and our memorabilia shows. So love to have that there. But who's that? There's Marty. Marty's working our Streamlabs board there with our intern Logan Cope from Eastern Florida State College. And Marty and you and Hazel Banks, I'll show you a picture of Hazel here in a minute, participated in Science Days a couple years ago.
You're correct, yes.
And that tells thousands and thousands of kids saw their little 5-minute video, didn't they?
Yeah. We are talking about thousands and thousands. Yeah, that's a very beautiful initiative that we have around the globe, actually, and most recently in Brazil.
Yeah.
And this is a great experience to have all that kids and educators and
Brazilians are science crazy. This is amazing that I have seen some of the photographs of your events, and they don't hold them in an auditorium. They hold them in a soccer stadium, right? I mean, there's some major, like 20,000 people. Am I right, JC?
Around that, no, Jeff.
Over 10,000 at some of your events. I mean, it's really amazing. Of course, you've had one Brazilian astronaut.
Yeah, Marcos Pontes.
Pontes. I've met him, heard him talk. He's coming the end of the month, isn't he, Marty, or next July?
I believe in July he used to be here. Yeah.
And isn't he in the? He's a political man now in Brazil.
Yes, you are correct.
Senator, I think.
Senator, yeah.
But he is championing STEAM education, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Still supporting all these educational initiatives, especially between U.S. and Brazil. So yes, he's an advocate for that. Our great ambassador.
Also part of your Science Days was Hazel Banks, shown there in the middle in 1971. Hey, Hazel.
71.
Little surprise there. She's there between Jim Irwin on the right with his eyes closed, and on the left is David Scott, who celebrated his 92nd birthday yesterday.
92nd.
92. Moonwalker on Apollo 15 in 1971. And, of course, the Gemini 8 mission with Neil Armstrong that was aborted in 1966, and maybe it was 65. I don't have my smart tablet here for Neil to correct me, Marty, but we appreciate Neil 1040 watching, and Marty's writing down some of the other people watching. And if we do have a question for JC or Jeff, please chime in there, Logan or Marty. But yeah, Hazel always loved showing her beautifulness back in the day. She made that dress out of those mushrooms. See those mushrooms all over that dress? I
do.
That's pretty psychedelic there, Hayes, for back in the time. But yeah, more importantly, David Scott, 82 years old. Only 3 other men can talk about walking on the moon.
Oh my goodness.
That's Buzz Aldrin, who's 94, and Harrison Schmitt of Apollo 17 is 88, and Apollo 16 moonwalker Charlie Duke is the youngest at 88. He's born in October, I think, and going to be 89, and I think Schmidt's July 3rd. So, but guys, I want to just talk a little bit because you do have your pulse on the space age. This is the selfie of the Chinese lander on the backside of the moon that harvested up to 4 pounds of dirt and rock, and even did soil sample drilling. That top part of it, I mean, this reminds Marty of the lunar module.
That's true.
That-
I was
that's
going to say
true.
that.
That's true.
And they had a descent stage with solar panels,
Mhm.
and the ascent stage has already left and docked with the orbiting spacecraft that is now headed back to Earth. They're not headed back to Earth yet. They're waiting for the right alignment,
Ah, okay.
and they will bring it back to Earth, JC, on July 25th.
Okay.
Or no, June 20th. I take that back. We'll see at the end of June. June 25th is when this sample of the backside of the moon that they hope has traces of ice in it. All right. That's the whole idea. Is this
That's
at the
cool,
South
yeah.
Pole in a crater ironically called Apollo. All right. But what do y'all think about this? And plus, proudly showing the Chinese flag there.
Probably. Actually, I saw that on TV about
Yeah.
4 days ago when they were about to land. I was like, boy, they are going fast, but we are going faster. So, but I like it. You know, this is good. It's incentivizing more and more nations to actually do the space exploration. It's about teamwork.
India landed there.
Mhm.
India's got plans.
Yep.
China's got plans to send another probe more advanced in 2 more years, and then 2 years another probe that may make Lego bricks.
Oh.
And this is the science that your kids are involved in, that you're teaching
Yes.
at these
correct.
robotic school,
Correct.
robotic competitions and stuff
Mhm.
like that. China is sending this armada to the South Pole, and then by 2030 or 2031 or 2032, there will be Chinese human beings on the moon. That's their whole goal. Even Bill Nelson said it's a new moon race.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't know other countries how they're looking at this.
Saw that a few months ago. Israel almost landed their thing over there, but the rest
That
of
was
them-
India.
no, Israel too.
Oh, right. You're right.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right. India. That's right.
Yeah,
Israel had a lander.
Yeah, lander. Yes,
And
correct.
then you had the intuitive machines
Mm,
on there.
yeah, you're correct.
Landed
So,
on there. So, well, another little. So this is current event news going on that your
big
students
news. Yeah.
are playing a part in, because these were the students of 15 years ago that put this together in China. Here's what I find one of the more interesting photographs of the Starship.
And we saw that yesterday. It was like,
This
boy.
is the big. They call it the big booster or
Exactly
whatever.
the moment when you had
the moment it separated from the
Separate,
Starship. I love that.
Yeah,
And then
that's
it
amazing.
actually landed the way it was supposed to, straight up in the ocean.
in the ocean. Yeah.
And Musk says the next one they're going to try to catch it with the chopsticks out there and catch it as it goes right beside the tower that launched it.
Cool.
You can't make this stuff up anymore because it's science. So how does this, energize you to talk to students about going to space?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
How do you take a current events thing like this and inspire kids,
think-
JC?
I think this, yeah, an event like this one is just the event is an inspiration for our students. And we talk a lot about this new space, with our students, show them that now we have all these commercial companies working to make space available for everyone, for more people. And when you have something like that happening, actually, we just had a group here.
Yep.
So when we have something like
The
this
exact day
happening here,
we had a group
it's like
here.
you have a
And
stamp.
we were talking about
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You have a commercial company. Look what amazing thing these guys are doing, and these guys are proving that there's no impossible for these guys. So you can believe that if they say they're gonna do, believe them, because these guys
they
are
got the
amazing.
money to keep
Yeah.
it trying until they figure out how to do it. That's what the Falcon 9 was all about. We're going to watch
Oh, yeah.
another beautiful Falcon 9 launch at 8 o'clock tonight.
8 o'clock tonight.
They have such a rhythm to them. I've seen so many of them. Watch right before that first stage goes out. That flame gets so turquoise. It's the bluest turquoise you could ever see. I've been watching through binoculars a lot, or telephoto lens. You'll see that.
Mhm.
All right, but yeah, it's certainly a new rocket renaissance going on, and you're inspiring the next generation. And look at these good jobs. They don't have to be an egghead rocket scientist. They can be a welder, right? They
Oh,
can
yeah.
be
A designer.
Oh,
yeah.
talking about welders, I just had a nice meeting with Blue Origin here, and they were mentioning about the need for welders there. So they are on a hiring spree of
Yeah.
technicians, a diverse background people who are actually right now at this moment thousands of jobs.
Absolutely.
just waiting
You're,
for them.
You have a technical skill
Yeah.
that is building something, all right, particularly in the skyscraper type of finesse there. Marty's grandson was telling me just got become a welder on there.
It's a nice paying job as well.
Oh yeah, there's like good paying jobs out there.
Yeah.
I laughed because I was a liberal arts guy. I was a journalist and photographer. Like after the Watergate here in America, where President Nixon was brought down by journalism, okay, and we were all going to be that. And then I tell parents, don't let your babies go into liberal arts. There's not much money in it. They want to be engineers, okay, if you want to have some money in there, because the news business is a passion for all of us that have been in it, and we don't do it for the money, and the best money is the higher management type people, not the reporters and stuff. But let's talk about another current events going on, guys. We have 12 human beings in orbit right now, thanks to Butch and Sonny over there on the right, and their Starliner crew flight test 3, and we've got 9 on the International Space Station, and that includes 3 on the Soyuz or Chinese Tiangong Space Station. So 9 and 3 is 12. Butch and Sonny have been up there before. I think Sonny was up there when the cupola was, but Butch's last mission was 129, STS-129, and 130 took the cupola up. So they just got to be digging it, Did you see Sonny go into the hatch?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a happy moment.
Celebrating.
Right?
Yeah.
Celebration, yeah.
Yeah, so she only waited like 12 years to go back up
Only
there.
12 years.
Yeah, and he waited 10. And this guy on the far right there, Kenyenko, just eclipsed his 1,000th accumulated day in space, the most by any human. 1,000. That's almost 3 years.
Yeah.
All right. And he's going to put another 90 days on until he comes back in September. And Tracy Caldwell Dyson, she also waited over a decade to fly again. She's the one, if you watch the NASA channel, she does the space station up close, off the Earth, for the Earth.
Okay.
And she was always very animated, and she was always station life. And she did, and she's also a Capcom on a lot of stuff. And then we've got the crew, 4 members there. So 12 orbiting Earth.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The crew 8. Yeah. SpaceX, yeah.
The record, did you see crew 8 go up?
Indeed.
Did you? All right. That was, I could look it up. It's about 2 months ago.
Yep.
So
there. Here they are.
So now we have like Starliner, Dragon, and Soyuz.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
docked in the International Space Station.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the three of
Yes.
them.
I should have pulled that off. Exactly. 3 different spaceships are docked
Look at
in the
that.
International, plus 2 different cargo ships. There's a Soyuz. I wish I'd pulled that slide off. There's a Soyuz, not a Soyuz. They call it the Russian.
The Russian
cargo ship
Uh-huh.
is what's the Russian cargo ship name? And then the Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo ships attached there. So it is unique. We'll have
The
1,
parking
2,
lot
3, 4,
is
5
busy.
different spaceships there.
The parking lot is busy in space.
Oh, the Russian cargo ship is called Steve Jokums will jog my memory there, Marty. The Russian cargo ship.
The Progress?
The what?
Progress?
Yeah, Progress. Thank you. Progress. There you go. Well, let's talk about now you guys up there. Here's your website, Inspiring, Engaging, Empowering Students Globally. When did the Jefferson Michaelis Foundation start? How long has it been doing these good deeds?
Well, everything actually started in 1896 back in Portugal. But anyway, it's a long story. We don't have that much time.
Okay, yeah.
But
we talked about it on a previous show.
exactly, we did. But we decided to revive most of what our prior family members were doing in 2015. So that's when we revived the foundation and all the plans about providing quality bilingual education. And now actually everything is related to space. So that's technically what we do. We travel now to different countries promoting English as a second language and the space as what actually they can learn and what they can do when they grow up. And this is something that's going to impact their future. So the foundation is actually, this is my vision and our motto. We're training the workforce of the future. That's what we are doing. And we are incentivizing different countries really to apply English as a second language.
Give us the Portugal connection there. I don't know my history really well, but there was Brazil, a Portuguese, a part of Portugal, and Spain came over here and they claimed other things.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. So
So you would think it'd be a Hispanic-speaking nation, but it's not. It's Portuguese.
It's Portuguese.
Yep.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, that's it. And the beauty, like Jeff mentioned, is what's more, more fun and nice than space. So we use space as it's like a bite to attract students and to learn English, but using space as what more, interesting than space. So I say, okay, you like space, you like to learn about space. What about you need to learn English? So you can join us here and learn about this whole universe, talking about space exploration.
Yep.
So we basically use this sketch, what is space exploration, all this history, past, present, and future. And this way you can motivate these guys to learn English as well as a second language, English and Spanish, and have more.
Thank you, JC. There's beautiful country behind us. If you know anything about it, the rainforests are legendary of Brazil. You went stargazing about a year ago, didn't you, in the rainforest?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
Oh, it was an amazing
Oh,
experience.
yeah.
Oh, you went there too,
He
JC?
was there too. Yes.
I remember when you went, I wanted to go with you with the telescope.
Yeah.
Were the skies pretty dark, JC?
Oh, yeah, what a beautiful place. Yeah.
The airplane actually was going over the rainforest for about 2 hours. And all the green, beautiful forest. Yeah, we arrived in the city of Macapá, which is just, where you can really see the biggest part of the rainforest. So it
was an experience for sure.
Science days there was fun.
What do we Americans need to know about Brazil as a country?
Well, I think something that is very interesting about the relationship between Brazil and the U.S., especially Florida. Brazil is the most important Florida's partner right now. So Brazil is doing a lot of business with Florida and vice versa. So the Brazilian people and the American people, they have going back, centuries. They have a great history of doing good things together. And right now, especially right now with the space program, the way it is, expanding and promoting more and more opportunities, and the time zones, we are just 1 hour difference in our time zone from the Eastern state.
So you're in Central Time Zone.
Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense, and a lot of folks.
Houston time, actually.
Exactly.
In there,
yeah. So we are seeing more and more connections being made, especially with the space program. We have Embraer doing very well here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And they are actually manufacturing their airplanes here.
Embraer?
Embraer.
Oh, Embraer.
Embraer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So,
manufacturing planes, actually.
Yeah.
Small jets.
Small jets here in the Space Coast. So again, we are seeing more and more prosperity between both nations.
We're talking here with the
and
Jefferson
Michaelis as well, and Florida Tech.
Yeah.
JC Michaelis, we don't have your name up there, but you have been his sidekick ever since I've met both of you in there, on there. Both of these men are building a highway to space, and Jefferson says, join me. Just like we want to bridge the space between us here on our show. on there, and they're all about advancing space technology development, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We throw the arts in there because it's important. After all, that's how the first concepts
Oh yeah.
are done, or artistically. But I'll talk about that in a second here. JC, tell us a little bit about how space technology has improved the lives of people in Brazil.
Oh, this is
And,
not.
and I mean in the Titusville cities, not the Miamis and like Rio de Janeiro and stuff.
Yeah.
The local people there. Is it a modern world that like you see here on the Space Coast?
Yeah, this is actually we have one question that always, appear during when we have these groups coming here for the first time, and this question is why? Why to explore space?
Yeah.
Why, guys? Why you talk that much about space? Why do you have these companies and commercial and federal agencies spending billions of dollars to explore space? And this is the answer, technology, develop technology. So, and I used to say that when we have the decision to go to Mars, for example, when we had this decision, like President Kennedy just did back in 50s, when they say we are going to Mars, mankind will, have the next giant leap.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need to improve our technologies. We're going to need to create new technology that even doesn't exist right now. And we try to show our students and educators what's going on because of space. So if you have a cell phone, you have a camera on your cell phone that came from space. If you have GPS, if you have, firefighter clothes, baby food, all this, we can say that are somehow technology that came from space. So this is the answer. And that's nice because we always have this question, when we have new groups coming here, and we always, all the groups say, why, JC, why? And so we can show them what's going on. And this is going on right now. We're not just talking about past, that is happening right now.
Yes.
We're going to need to create new technology to move forward. Yeah. So that's the beauty about
JC, Brazilian, talking about a speech 60 years ago by our president, still inspiring people.
Yeah.
Because that's what always struck me about that speech. He said, Kennedy said, we're not going there because it's easy. We're going because it's hard. And we don't even know what we have to invent yet. But we will do what we have to along. They didn't invent when Kennedy gave that speech, he had no idea about the lunar module Grumman that Marty was going to work on.
For sure.
He had different concepts of it. But that's awesome. Another thing that these two men bring together are partnerships with different companies from around the world, different institutions like our museum here, and you're involved with the International Space Academy and the indirectly the Astronaut Memorial Foundation is the caretakers of the great education facility out there at KSC. So and you've been in places I haven't been in, like Blue Origin, maybe in there. But my time will come. I don't push that kind of thing. But you have a purpose, but you have a responsibility, don't you?
Yes, we do, because if we are preaching to the kids that what we envision is about a brighter future, a future with a lot of different opportunities, we have to learn and we have to study every day what's happening out there. I know it's impossible to learn everything,
Right.
But you were mentioning about engineering. So with the STEM field or STEAM, you have so many different options nowadays. Space companies, just look around us, how many different companies we have. Space is another great example about a startup company that now is actually booming. They have a new contract, they have this new technology, and they're printing their rocket here in the Space Coast. So yes, the responsibility is what's happening right now here, which we can share with the students so they can get more interest to learn. So our obligation is to show them and inspire them to pursue STEM education and careers.
We're enjoying this conversation here. I've got a few more slides to go through, and we're going to whiz through that, a couple of them there, because I'm enjoying talking to these gentlemen. JC, you don't know where it's going to be hot, kind of, in science. And here's my point. The hottest thing now, maybe in engineering, is helicopters on other worlds. Thanks to the success of Ingenuity on Mars. It was designed to fly 5 times. It flew 72 times, become a scout for Perseverance. Can you imagine, like you said, you can't know everything, Jeff, but JC, you can focus on one little area. Like I'm going to study in my engineering helicopter rotors on Mars,
Oh yeah.
So because now everybody is incorporating helicopters in their Mars.
Cool.
The Russia's got a lander. I think India's next lander will have a helicopter. Okay, so see what I'm saying? 5 years ago, no one was talking about that.
Yeah, that was impossible, basically.
Yeah,
if you
'cause
talk
it wasn't
about, okay,
proven.
we're gonna fly a helicopter or a small drone in Mars.
But
You're gonna say, oh, are
remember,
you crazy?
we
A
had
drone,
that,
yeah, drone is.
but we had that conversation.
I'm an
during
old
our
timer. I'd say
class.
helicopter.
Yeah,
I'd really
yeah.
be saying drones.
Yeah, but we had that conversation in 2018 during one of our classes.
Yeah.
Students were asking us about, okay, we have the rovers. What
Yeah.
about drones or something like that?
Yeah.
And at that time was, no, maybe, because space.
Now it's hot.
Yeah.
All right, we got
Improved
a
it.
drone that's going to the moon Titan of
Yep.
Saturn. All right.
Yep.
Another area that bloomed over the last decade is astrobiology.
Astrobiology.
Okay,
for sure.
knowing what if there's any critters in rocks or the more than the chemical makeup of things like that. That's why I enjoy doing my Make a Comet with your crew.
Plants in space. How are we gonna have food in space?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
that.
Gary.
Let's show a few more slides here. So we weren't digressing. We were engaging them. Here's you in the front and JC in the back. Your wife Carla kneeling down. That was one of your international programs out there at the Space Center.
Yep, correct. Just
And
a
there,
few
who's
days
that group?
ago.
Oh, that's Via Space.
Via
That's
space,
Via
yeah.
Space
Yeah,
engineers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about this partnership, this alliance. We have Via
I think
Space.
we had the kid besides you was on Stay Curious
Yeah.
one
Okay.
time.
Okay.
That's our hometown company, the V for Via.
Yep.
There was a sci-fi TV show called V that reminds me of on there. There's your LinkedIn on there, Jeffrey. You can find Jefferson there. But talk about some of your outreach during the eclipse of the sun,
yeah.
April 8th, when I was up in Ohio with my 91-year-old mother. You were doing an event in Ohio remotely. Understand? What
Actually,
was
yeah,
that about?
we at that time I couldn't fly to Ohio personally, but we had our co-founder member Mike there and John.
There's your right there's your logo. on
Yep,
the
yep,
thing there.
yep. We are working.
Yeah, the guy John, I saw the video attached with this
Yeah.
on your website,
Exactly.
and so you helped sponsor that. That was quite an event.
And we
They
also
had
send. They had a chance to take some of our activities,
the same ones we do
yeah.
overseas,
the same ones that we do.
we brought over
Yeah,
here. So
with rockets,
yes.
stomp rockets, and
What town is that in Ohio?
Space Bingo, Columbus.
Columbus.
Oh, Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
they were expecting 300 participants. At the end of the night, 789
Awesome.
families and
Yeah.
kids. So it was fun. And we're planning another one next year.
Good.
Yes.
At the same high school, middle school.
Probably.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And this
Well,
time
let
we're
us
gonna
know.
have-
We'd love to send some
we're gonna
swag
try
out
to
there
be-
for you on that.
We're gonna try to be there. Yeah.
And they are next year. We hope we can join them. Yes.
There's the event written up
Yes.
there. It's at nearly 500. You had a total
Yeah,
there.
we
That
were
was
very
cool.
conservative. We got the number. Yeah.
All right.
789.
Yeah, we're talking about our friend Gary Studi, lives here in
Gary.
Titusville, friend of mine, friend of this museum, and Karan Conklin for many, many years. He is the world expert in growing food in space plants. And Gary's been on here many times. And JC, I think this is a very neglected, necessary thing. Getting to Mars is one thing, propulsion and the rocket science. But once you get there, you're going to be there for 9 months.
Oh, yeah.
And where's the food? You know,
Yeah.
Where's the Publix down the road to buy stuff? You're going to have so much food sent
Yes.
ahead of time or growing it. And that's
Or
what Gary's
growing
all about there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Now, Gary, tell me about Gary visiting you guys. There he is in Brazil
yeah.
with a group of students that you lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what
Gary
he's
is-
doing here? That was the stage for him to talk.
Yeah, actually, Gary was
See,
invited.
there's your logo right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, Gary was invited to be actually attending one of the most important educational events on earth. It's called the Bet Educar. It's like a kind of a global event, and Gary was the keynote speaker talking about space.
Wow.
So we added in that particular educational event something about space, and it was amazing. And Gary was actually telling us about things that space is helping Earth. One of them is feeding people on Earth. 8
Yeah.
billion people.
Yeah.
So space is helping us understanding how to better harvest, where,
Oh,
how,
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
climate, small changes,
Yeah.
what's happening right now. So again, I am very pleased. We're very pleased that Gary accepted the invitation and he was able to impact so many people over there.
We'll see a couple other pictures here. He did a great job, I know.
And he actually, since he was there, we invited him to join us for Space Day as well. So yeah, Gary was a busy person over there. Yeah.
We're going to show Breaking Bread with him. I wanted to just mention that Gary Gerald's a farmer in Collins, Georgia, and he was sat here in our studio and told us about, the agriculture, how it is dependent on GPS,
Mhm.
and they can also tell the yield as they're harvesting and whether or not it needs more or less fertilizer in this area of acres or not. I mean, it is unbelievable. But Marty, remember, he said he got more clean rows and more yield by using GPS in there. So, and he brought us some delicious Vidalia onions. That,
Wow.
Are you cooking at home?
Yes.
I'll send you home with a couple there.
Perfect.
They're in the refrigerator. Just have a few left there. Well, you took part in a back 3 years ago, and I just kind of threw these in here to show where some of our American Space Museum, U.S. Space Walk of Fame Foundation things are. There's you and your wife Carla with a lady that was an actress that they did a movie, documentary or something here.
Well,
What was that about?
that was a project we started at the beginning of the pandemic. Why? Everything we do is project-based learning, is hands-on. During the pandemic,
Yeah, that's true.
we couldn't do anything. We were like,
That's why we founded this.
No, yeah.
So
See?
we could reach out.
and actually, this young lady, she is a very bright young lady. Her name is Sky.
Sky.
She is a UCF graduate, and I heard she is doing very well right now.
That's our Mercury Monument
Yeah.
at Spaceview Park, and then there she is doing. She was the actress for this
Yes,
project.
yeah, yeah.
With
she
the
was.
mask.
See, they got
See?
the COVID
Yeah.
mask. This
Yeah.
was 2021, I believe.
It was just at that time we thought everything was going to be all right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
But
there they are at our
yes,
Spaceview
yes.
Park.
And see, again, we are very transparent. This is one of the projects that never really took off.
Yeah.
We tried, and we recorded hours and hours. We actually prepared all the content to
Yeah.
teach, high school kids, even younger kids. But we didn't have that, I would say, the experience,
Or the engagement.
the
and-
engagement to
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But we tried.
We
So
tried.
this is a real proof. Thanks for bringing that into this.
Well, it's on the shelf,
The show.
And that's how we grow, is trying things. Marty and I certainly know.
We
Here's
learned.
where Stay Curious
Yeah.
started in the
Yeah.
corner over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Our first studio, and there they are doing a setup in our conference room back
Well,
there.
this is memorable. Oh,
Isn't that fun?
It is, and
Yeah.
it was fun for us because
And we learned a lot.
We
There,
learned
you
a
guys
lot.
had a lot of
Learned a
fun.
lot.
She was
Yes.
engaging.
Yeah.
she, yeah.
That's in our Apollo
Yeah.
gallery, and there's your whole crew there.
Wow, that's true.
That's true.
You see, this is the beauty about education and
Yeah.
and facing times or a challenging time. We had to come up with a plan to keep the kids engaged.
Yes.
We had to come up with something where the kids would still be inspired. But again, we did not have that experience in switching from on-ground education
To online.
to the
content.
online
Yeah.
education. So when we were ready, thank God, COVID was gone. And now we're back in bringing
Yes, you
very
are.
smart kids here to Space Coast. But again, for us, that was an important moment of our life where we did not give up. It was the opposite. We invested a lot of time, money,
Try
and
to
energy.
keep learning,
Yeah.
Well, that's what
people
Stay
talking
Curious
about
was born
space.
out of the pandemic,
Yeah,
and
that's
4
true.
years later, we're very blessed that it found a little niche for the same reason you are, preserving the birth of America's space age right here, where it all started, Brevard County, Florida, and you've been in other places around the country. I know, JC. It is kind of a special place here on the Space Coast, isn't it?
I can say this. I call this my home. My second home actually, because I love all this area. I love being here, guys, at the Space Museum with you. It's a place that you don't feel the time, running, going, and
You
very
mean
special.
it's slower paced, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
meet cool people.
Yeah, I
Just the
agree. Not
other day.
everybody's all
Yeah.
in a. It got me. I had to slow down a little bit because things don't move real fast around here, particularly in nonprofit. But no, I think we have an expression: you stop and smell the roses.
Yes.
Oh.
That's
And every day I smell the roses around here.
Yeah, that's a good expression.
Yeah,
That's a good
because
expression.
if you don't, life, as we know, and particularly when you get older, my God, we're already in June, and I'm just thinking, seeing your event at the eclipse, that was, we're in June, and April 8th, is that, geez, that's wow.
Yeah.
That was a while back, but so we've enjoyed this conversation with you guys, JC and Jefferson. Any comments, Marty, from anybody? Okay. They're just enjoying it up there. We got Steve Jokums is up in Illinois. Dave Stangy's up in Michigan.
Michigan. Okay. We were about
Carlton
to go-
Bailey, he's local here. I think you met Carlton.
Of course.
Many, many times.
Yes. Thanks to him, we have a very nice portrait signed by astronauts. Thank you so much. The
All
kids,
right,
they
Carlton.
love that. Thank you.
Robert Law's up in Dundee, Scotland, having
Wow.
his Friday night hot toddy probably up there.
Okay.
Tom Celentano is from Connecticut, but he's been on the Space Coast watching the launch. Gary Gerald was a big shout out to our favorite farmer there, and his wife Donnie, who I've met many times. Hazel Banks is probably watching, and Cliff Watson is. Cliff will be watching. It's brekkie time Saturday morning in Pomona, Australia.
Oh,
And he was our friend. He was in the States for 6 weeks, and I was here for the eclipse, and then he was here for a couple weeks. And Cliff Watson, great Aussie up there, in there. So I don't think we've had anyone shout out from Brazil, but we've heard from Ophelia in Normandy, France. Our friend Marina in Ukraine. Yeah,
Whoa.
and everybody across the fruited plain, from Doug Forrest to Tom Usiak. We certainly appreciate you staying curious with us and these guys. To go out, let's have a little gastronomy. You put, I'm an astronomer, so you put A in front of astronomy, you get food. And gastronomy, a lot of meeting after the meeting happens, and here you are getting together after some event. There's Gary Studi there, your wife Carla, and you, JC.
Yeah.
Who are these young kids you went out with, JC?
Former students who attended our classes here in the Space Coast.
Yeah.
So when they heard that Gary was going to be there and we were going to be there, they made sure to
See
meet
what I
with
mean? That's where we meet over food. This is in Sao Paulo.
São
That's São
Paulo,
Paulo,
yes.
yeah.
And we have that young lady over there. Her name is Marcela. Marcela actually was the person who gave us the idea about getting together for a happy hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
that was a great moment thanks to Marcela's idea
Yeah.
in getting everyone united.
And
Marty?
that's something very special because we have some students, some kids that we had a chance to meet like years ago.
Yeah.
And we try to keep in touch with these guys. And many times when we are in São Paulo or places close to them, they like send messages and call, can we get together? Can we help with something? And
What
they
an
are
impact
always-
you've made,
yeah.
JC, on
Yeah.
those kids. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Because from our
It's your
side,
heart there.
it's
And
it's
you are
hard.
part of this
Yeah,
too,
you are part of
because
that.
that's what we're doing now, incentivizing, inspiring them to keep learning.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys as
Well,
well.
tell them to stay curious. We have, PG-rated content for the most part here for kids on there. Marty, you have a comment?
I have a comment from Carlton Bailey. Do you know Patricia Williams? I know she does a lot of outreach in Mexico, and she used to do it in the Space Center from Colombia.
Wow.
Patricia
Actually,
Williams.
last week we had students from Mexico with us
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. I forgot the city, I'm sorry, but we had wonderful students from Mexico last week with us. They were learning about space, and we are actually now reconnecting with Colombia, because before the pandemic, we used to have students from different countries. After the pandemic, we are just starting everything again, if you will, but we are trying to reconnect with different countries. In August, if there's anybody there from Europe, we are going to Portugal and probably England as well to talk with some schools over there. So yeah, we're trying to bring the U.S. space education abroad.
Huh.
Want them to understand what we are up to over here.
Yeah.
Well, they keep their passports upgraded there for sure on there. I've enjoyed talking to JC and Jeff here. One question that I wrote down here as we look at the beautiful country there, Brazil, so dominating in South America, and it's a remote areas of the country. The Starlink constellation,
Mm-hmm.
is it making a big impact there?
As a matter of fact, I learned with JC that we had a situation with the flood in
The salt.
the south of Brazil. The Starlink is providing the communications, internet access to
Huh.
them.
Yeah, because many people like was with no power, and thanks to Starlink, they could be in touch with their families and say that everything was okay.
Huh.
And so this is a good example how technology and how these commercial companies that are working here can make things that can help people around the globe. So
And
we just
rural
had-
areas.
and rural areas. We just had this example, real one. We're talking about something that is real.
Yeah.
And
There you go. And,
Yeah.
is that
Our
what's launching
neighborhood.
tonight, Marty? I don't keep track if it's a Starlink or a private communication satellite.
yeah.
And there's over 6,000 of them orbiting to Earth. I saw a train of them the overnight. 34 of them go over 8 seconds apart. It was incredible to watch. Have you ever seen that?
Oh,
Occasionally,
Yeah.
I think I saw that, but technically, I don't know if it was the.
yeah.
I wasn't standing beside you to tell you that's
Oh,
what you were
yeah.
seeing.
Yeah.
But there's an app for that.
Yeah.
You can check that out on there. Well, guys, just one last picture here. There you are with Gary, your wife Carla. Tell
Hello.
her my best on there, and you and JC. I had a good time talking to him today. Marty, do you have any questions?
Nope. Sorry.
Well, it's good to learn about other partners around the world that are as enthusiastic as we are here at the American Space Museum. And I applaud you guys for what you do with your Jefferson Michaelis Foundation and the International Space Academy. JC, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Always a
God bless
pleasure.
you, Jefferson.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Always.
You're welcome. We
And
always
get ready. In November, we are going to have the kids back. And
Oh,
they would love
right.
to see you
Yeah.
again.
Get the dry ice ready
Yeah,
so I can make my
exactly.
comment, because I do enjoy that a lot. And in November I can plan on sneaking in somebody's luggage back down to Sao Paulo,
Okay.
because a lot of them parents said I got a place to stay if I ever
Yeah,
get down
yeah.
there. So
Well, if you want to join us, we are planning now Science Days 2025. It's going to be in March, and we'd love to have you with us.
all right, we'll
But-
put that
but-
in your travel budget.
Yeah. But as Gary, we work a lot,
Yeah.
but we eat a lot as
Yeah.
well, so it's fun.
Well, I look forward to it. All right.
Okay.
So, Marty, thank you for a good job, and our intern Logan Cope, thank you for another great week of learning. He's at the Eastern Florida State College here, and we're going to do a Google Meets with Eurocom's Alex Carl next week on Thursday.
Nice.
And so we're excited to break back into that, trying to talk to people remotely on that. So we're putting a cap on episode 1066 today on Stay Curious. Thanks to all of you out there. But we couldn't do this without the support of my boss, Karan Conklin, our executive director. And she needs your prayers, and her family with her husband, Mark Conklin, needs you to be thinking of them as she's battling a serious medical situation. She's stable, but she is going to need some medical attention, and we want y'all to pray, and also pray for our museum here, that we can keep a rudder in the go forward without Karan here for a while. So thank you all for a great week. We appreciate everybody supporting our museum by watching Stay Curious and our Facebook page. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to YouTube. There's nothing to do with YouTube. They don't even want your email. I don't think. It's one of the safer things, I think, to join on there. And then you can go and tell your friends that JC and Jeff were here to talk about how kids need to be engineers and help us do great things here off the earth for the earth.
For the earth.
Right?
That's
So,
it. That's
until next time, I'm Mark Marquette, saying I'm proud that these guys are my friends and that you all are watching, and can't wait to see you again to bridge the space between us.
Thank you.